If you struggle with finding happiness and feel discouraged a lot, especially if you're dealing with a more serious issue like depression or anxiety like I have in the past, you probably need to hear this. And this is going to sound too simple, and it's going to sound a bit insensitive almost, but it's true, and it works. What you need to understand is what you focus on becomes your reality. A person I've listened to one person I've enjoyed listening to that I think is really interesting on the matter is Mel Robbins, a motivational speaker, and I believe she's a psychologist or something. I'm not completely sure. But what she's talked about in the past is what she calls the reticular activating system. What this is a system in your brain that chooses what details to keep from your day and what details to discard. Because if you think about it, your eyes, your ears, your thoughts, they're running 24/7, picking up all sorts of information from around you. Picking up things from here, picking up things while you're driving in the highway, picking up things while you're at school, while you're at work, things like that. And it's an overwhelming amount of information. So your brain has to pick and choose what it chooses to store and what it chooses to discard. And that's what this reticular activating system does. And what it does is it chooses the things that seem important to your brain. The things that your brain are thinking about. The things that it thinks you need to focus more attention on. And this is heavily shaped by our attitudes. If we're thinking about negative things, this can come to haunt us. Because if we're thinking we're antisocial, if we're thinking we're having a bad day and that people hate us, the reticular activating system is going to be thinking about this and focusing on details that reinforce what we believe and reinforce what we're thinking about. So it's going to pick out the person who honked at you on the highway, the class assignment that you failed to turn in on time, the person who got maybe a little bit upset with you at work. It's going to focus on the negative thoughts in your head and focus on the things that are going wrong in your life. And obviously, this is not a good thing. And it does not conduce to a happy life or a happy situation. But the opposite is true. If you focus on the things that are going well in your life, if you try to change your mindset to think that you are happy or that things are going well, your brain is going to start picking out the things that confirm that is true. It's going to discard some of the negative stuff that happens to you. It's going to focus on the things that went well in your day. Maybe you got to class 5 minutes early. Maybe you had a nice conversation with a colleague. Maybe someone complimented you while you were walking down the street. If you're thinking positive thoughts and in a positive mood, your brain is going to pick out details that reinforce what you're thinking about and what you believe about yourself especially. So, from this, if we can change how we're thinking about ourselves, we change the things our brain notice, and we can have a better day. And the thing about it is a decision. It is not by chance. We can decide what our mood is going to be. And then our brain is going to pick out those details and make it come true. And that sounds a bit weird to a lot of you. Sounds a bit of an alien idea because we're not used to controlling our emotions or deciding what we're thinking. We're used to going with the flow, being reactive, and just letting our mood be dictated by the things that are happening around us or what we're initially feeling when we get out of bed. To some of you, it might seem even impossible. especially you're dealing with a real issue like depression or something. And like, there can absolutely be like real medical issues that can't necessarily be solved just with thinking positive thoughts. But it can't make the situation worse, and it does help. So, if you want to improve how you feel, you need to control what you're thinking. And I've had only moderate success putting this into action in my own life, because when I can remember to do it and I can successfully do it, it works. I put a new frame of mind in, pull out the bad mood and put in the new one. That is good. And then it works on autopilot. The challenge, of course, is, remembering to actually do it and then, resisting your natural urge. Like, you don't need to do that. You don't need to worry about stuff like that. It wouldn't work anyway. Resisting that is honestly one of the hardest issues with this. And I can't really give you an easy way to overcome that. But if you can resist that natural inclination to dismiss it and refuse to listen to it, then you can put this into action. And when you do manage to put it into action, I think it works pretty well. So, in summary, your brain picks out the details that confirm your worldview and confirm how you think about your day and how you think about yourself. If you're thinking about bad things about yourself, it will pick out the details to reinforce that. But if you can turn it around and make it work for you, make it think about positive things instead, then your brain will begin to pick out the things in your life that are actually going pretty well. And it can lighten your day. It's not always easy, but if you can put it into practice, I think it works.